2 seconds, I dropped my fucking yard. Disclaimer, this video is AI. Nothing you see is real. Alright, motherfuckers, you saw the fucking title. Today, I'm going to be doing Joe Rogan's favorite drug. It rhymes with PMT. The goal for today's podcast is for me to take some ripskis of this. I also got a Rona to balance it out because, you know, those mix really well together. And I'm going to tell you my favorite or all of my psychedelic stories. Mother, if you are watching this, like I said, this is AI, it's not real, and I'm sorry. Alright, let me figure this out. But we gotta crack the Rona first, so skedaddle to the fridge. That's a lot of fucking milk, bro. Shit. How do I do this? What the fuck? Am I retarded? So this is a celebratory podcast because tomorrow the first video is dropping. Yeah! And I'm having fun shooting these podcasts. I'm not gonna lie, I get to be creative, and I figured this would be a fun title and a cool concept. So, cool pod, guys. Shit, it's raining. Run, run, run. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right, here we are, guys. We are outside, ready to smoke the PMT Benjamin. Yeah, it looks pretty brown. When you smoke it more, it gets darker. And then we have this to, you know, chill it out. So, the goal, like I said earlier, I'm gonna try to tell you some crazy stories. But first, I'm just gonna take some ripskis of this and we're gonna start off there. So I took a little 2 baby rips, and that's not gonna do shit, but I'm gonna tell you, the PMT, bro, it's pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie, before I quit college, oh shit! I ain't going in though, I'm not a pussy, so that was scary. But we're gonna just keep ripping it. Fuck the lightning. Zeus ain't got shit on me. I'm feeling the body. My body feels a little tingly. But anyway, it's a kind of cool thing. It makes everything feel fake and look waxy. My lips are feeling kind of weird already. And it makes you just kind of think differently. It's kind of cool. Pretty cool. I'm gonna keep ripping, and then we'll try to get the stories after I get pretty jibliterated, you know what I mean? The battery fucking died. Damn it. Oh shit. Well, the show must go on, guys. I'm sorry that I clickbaited you. The battery died, and I don't feel like going in, but we're not going to stop the podcast. I am slightly feeling it. I'm not that messed up. I do feel a little, but we got the Rona. It'll still be a good podcast. It's a fucking podcast. What do you expect, guys? Shut the fuck up. Stop bitching and complaining in the comments. It's a podcast. You got clickbaited. Get off. If you don't want to listen to me fucking yap with a Rona in my hand and lightning outside, kick fucking rocks. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm sorry. Please don't leave. Damn, it tastes like shit, bro. I forgot Coronas taste like fucking shit. All right. I'm just gonna fucking down some of this shit so I can actually fucking feel like speaking. Holy shit. That shit was big as fuck. Maybe I should go. I'm not going inside. Fuck that. I ain't no pussy. Anyway, I'm cool. Oh, what was I trying to say? Okay, my brain's scattered. I feel feel kind of woozy. I feel out of it. This is probably the worst podcast you've ever seen. I'm sorry. Okay, first story. Mom, this didn't happen. First time I've ever done a drug. I did not smoke weed the first time, guys. If you want to count fucking drinking alcohol, I guess I had a sip a few times when I was a little kid, but this is back when I was a sophomore in high school. Was at some party one night. They had the Zaza. Never smoked the Zaza. They had the drinks. I drank like 2 lemon drinks. Anyway, I met this guy. He was a drug dealer. Thought he was cool as fuck, bro. I was like, damn, that guy's the shit. All the girls knew him, hanging around him. Turns out, bro lived in my neighborhood, bro. Like, legit lived in my neighborhood. I didn't even know that until we started talking. So then I snuck out one night, and I went over to Brody's crib. And I was hanging out with him and his other buddies, and it was a cool time. We were just chilling, kicking it, whatever. And they're telling me, oh, I should smoke weed. I was like, nah, I've never done none of that. I was big into football. I was playing football at the time. This was a summer night. The next day I had football. It's like maybe 1 a.m. Sneak out of my house, go there. And I lock my room, from the inside, and I had this little key fob to unlock it. And then I left my phone there because I don't want to get tracked. Anyway, I was getting ahead of myself. But yeah, I left my phone there at the house. I think I'm hearing shit. Fuck. We might not be able to get through one goddamn story. Holy shit. Okay. Holy fuck. Shooting a podcast. Goddamn. My brother just came out. He's trying to see the weather. Okay, anyway, back to the story. So I go to bro's crib. They're trying to get me to smoke the Benjamin. I'm like, nah, I don't do that. My parents, they brainwashed me and they made me think smoking's terrible, which is, it kind of is. So I was afraid I'd go to hell if I was smoking the Zaza. So I was like, never gonna smoke Zaza. But then he was telling me, he's like, I got mushrooms. I was like, I don't know fucking mushrooms. I don't like mushrooms. Like, mushrooms taste gross to me every time I've had the normal ones. But he's like, nah, I got the psychedelic kind. And they showed me them, smelled weird. They're trying to convince me to do them. I'm like, I'm cool. They're like, it's natural. It's natural. It's super cool. It's super chill. You just feel good. It's super chill. You're super good. And I'm like, all right. Okay, I'll try them. And then they're like, well, actually, we don't want you to have the ones that we have here because we don't have enough, but we need to go get some. Do you have some money so we can go get shrooms? And I was like, bro, what are we talking about? But yeah, I had like 20, 30 bucks. So we hop in bro's car. It's like 2 a.m. We're meeting up with the plug. It's like the sketchy part of town. It's not even that far though. It's like a 15-minute drive. We get over there, meet up with the plug. We're in like fucking Section 8 damn near. He's pulling out, like he like walks out to the side window. I felt sketched as fuck because I never sneak out. I was afraid my parents were gonna beat my ass and shit. But anyway, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna try this thing. I was kind of a daredevil at the same time. I was a pussy, but I was a daredevil. We get the shrooms. Cost us like 30 bucks for 2 G's. 3 G? Yeah, 2 G's. We got like, yeah, I think it was 30 bucks for 2 G's. And I ate like 1.5 grams. But I've done shrooms quite a few times. And those were by far the strongest shrooms I've ever done. I also have never smoked weed up until this point. So I've never put any psychedelic substances in my body. This is ridiculous. It's fucking hounding rain out here, guys. Fucking, I'm gonna keep going. But yeah, we get the shrooms. I eat them in the car. I eat like 1.5 grams. I was like, yeah, that wasn't even that bad. They're telling me they tasted terrible. I was like, yeah, it's not that bad. I drank them down with some water. Everything was cool, bro. We drive back to his crib. I'm not feeling it much. And then we get to his house, and I'm sitting on the couch, and it just starts hitting me, bro. It starts hitting me. All of a sudden, everything started feeling kind of fake. This rain is loud as fuck. So everything started feeling fake. Get back to his house, and I'm on the couch, and I eventually do start to feel it. And I just remember I was like overly touchy with these guys there, and it wasn't like weird. but it was just like, I felt like so much love and happiness. Like I was just radiating love that I like felt like no like physical boundary. Like it wasn't even in my brain anymore, like how you keep your boundary with somebody else. And I was like, not that I was like grabbing anybody, but we were on a couch and I would just be like cuddled up next to the dude. No diddy. Like, I don't know, it's so vague. It's hard for me to even remember. I just remember they're like, bro, are you good? You're good? And I was just like, oh, I'm so happy. And I was like geeking, bro. I was just so geeked. I was fucked up. I was sitting there, then the room would go like, I'd look at it and it felt like it would go super, like, the room was built like this. Like, you know, it's kind of, it was a living room, it's like this, and it's a little longer this way. Well, all of a sudden they would go from being this long to being like so fucking long. And it would just, and then it would like also get like, it would condense. So it'd become like a tunnel. And then it would happen the other way. Then it would get like super condensed from here to like here and condensed this way towards the TV. And so the room was like changing shapes and getting bigger. And I was just like, what the fuck? So I guess like an hour and a half go by of like the crazy shit going on. And then all of a sudden bro's like, yeah, it's time for you to go home. Remember, you told me that you were gonna, you had to go back home. You had to sneak in by this time. You told me that, you know, to force you to leave at this time. And I was like, no, I can't go. Well, what do you know? I basically get like time jumps. Like I'm tweaking, but it's basically time jumping. And I'm like freaking out. I don't have control of myself. I don't know what's going on. I feel like I'm in a dream, but I remember that I snuck out and I'm afraid of my parents finding out. And then I'm like teleporting and I'm like, no, I don't want to go. And then I'm in this car and I'm like, no, we can't go. And then I'm outside my fucking house. And this is like I said, probably like 3:30 in the morning, maybe it's 4. And I'm like, no, I can't get out of the car. And then I'm out of the car. It's like I'm doing things that I don't want to do, but I'm doing it. And then he's trying to tell me, he's like, oh yeah, this is your, I started walking towards my house, right? He parked outside my house. I'm walking towards my house. And the way my neighborhood was set up is the houses look pretty similar, and they're also like kind of cookie cutter. So they're all next to each other in rows and they look similar. And he's like, no, that's not your house. That's your house. And he points to my neighbor. So he thought my neighbor's house was my house. I guess he forgot, or I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't even know if he's been to my house at this point. Maybe he's been to my house once. I don't remember. But he was telling me that that was my house. And I was like, no, it's not my house, but I'm tweaking on shrooms. Like, this is like by far the craziest like shroom high I've had. I'm like, no, this is my house. I know this is my house. And so eventually, after like some deliberation with him, I fucking go to my house. I left the back door unlocked. Luckily, nobody fucking unlocked it. I get myself in the door. I'm like, okay, we're home, but I'm still tweaking. Then I go to the living room and I'm like trying to find the little key thing that's supposed to unlock my room. Now my room is upstairs on the second floor. The living room's on the first floor. Nobody lives on the first floor. All my family's on the second floor, including my room. That's why I locked it. I couldn't, like, I didn't want them to accidentally check it. So, and I left my, like I said, I left my phone there. So I had my, like, they couldn't track my Life 360. But at this time I had like a second phone. Sorry, Ma. Because I was like, they would check my phone and shit and they would go through it. So I had a second phone that had Snapchat. Oh! But I pulled up the second phone and I was trying to use it as a flashlight to find the little key fob thing, like the key thing you put in the door, like put a picture of it. And I pick it up and I drop it on the ground, right? Or no, I picked it up and I dropped it on the ground the first time and then I couldn't see it. So then I pulled my phone out and then I turned the flashlight on. And then I went down and I picked it up and then I dropped my phone. And then I was like, well, that was weird, but I dropped my phone. And then I picked up my phone and I dropped the key. And then I'm like, why'd I fucking do that? And I'm looking for the key and I pick it up and I drop the phone. Shit, I don't know how many times it happened because I was tweaking, but it happened like a shit ton. I remember the shrooms were trying to peak even more then. And then I just fucking blacked out essentially. Well, not blacked out because I was seeing shit, but I basically died. I had an ego death in my living room floor at like probably 4 in the morning. And maybe it was 5 in the morning. I had an ego death. I had football practice the next, well, technically that day at like 7:30. So in like 3.5 hours, I had practice and I was having an ego death in my living room, which I've never done before. And I've never smoked weed. So I was sitting there, I thought I died. And then eventually it came back like legit like an hour and a half later. It's like probably maybe not an hour and a half, maybe it was an hour later, maybe it was an hour and a half. If it was like 4:30, yeah, it's probably like 4:30 that it happened. Then I woke up around 6. I wake up around 6 in the morning and I'm like, holy shit, I'm not dead. Holy shit. This is real? I'm a human being? I have parents? God is a concept? Religion's a concept? School is a concept? Football? I have to go to football? It was just like, my brain was tweaking, bro. I was just tweaking donkey dick. But I actually came back, and I was still like kind of slightly seeing shit. And I pick up my phone and whatever, and then I go into my room, and I like sneakily unlock the door. My parents are still asleep, and I go in there, and I go to my actual phone, the one that I left there, and my buddy, he had texted me. He's like, bro, that was insane. Are you okay? And it just felt like life felt fake. Like when I was reading that, it just felt like so fake. I was like, this actually happened. Like this experience actually happened. Because I legit thought I died. Like if you've never done psychedelics, it's an insane thing. Like especially your first ego death. Like I thought I was dead. And I came back and it was insane. And then I got ready and went to practice. I actually went out on my back porch, and I remember it was like summer. So, you know, it was all green and shit, and I guess it had rained, or maybe it hadn't rained, but everything just looked like there's like precipitation on it, and it looked just beautiful, luscious. Everything looked beautiful, more beautiful. I still was I was still tripping a little bit because like everything did look kind of movie, whatever, and but it looked beautiful. It was like the most beautiful sight I've ever seen. And then I hopped in my car like 30 minutes later, slightly feeling it still. Not like I said, this is AI, so I don't condone that. But I did that, and then I went to football, and I was like, dude, I remember I posted something on my Snapchat, bro. Something on my Snapchat, I get to the football practice, and like I'm a sophomore, and the seniors are there, like, bro, what are you talking about on your Snapchat? I forgot what I said, but I was like, bro, life is insane or some shit. And like, what are you talking about? I was like, dude, I just did shrooms last night. And they're like, what? And like, think about this. Most kids in high school have never done shrooms, and I was a sophomore, and I did them, and the seniors are looking at me. These seniors were like grown men compared to me. They're like, what the fuck's wrong with you? And I was like, yeah, I just died, and I came back. Life's crazy. Anyway, I go into practice, and we have a lifting session before practice, and I'm in the lifting session. And at this time, I've never bench pressed 185 for more than 3 times. And while still kind of feeling buzzed by the shrooms, I lifted 185 for like 5 times on bench press. And it was like, so like I said, it was more than I've ever lifted before. And I was like, holy shit, did these shrooms just give me like superpowers? And then I went into practice, and I was a safety in practice at this time. I wasn't like a linebacker yet. And I had 2 picks in practice. I was smacking motherfuckers. I was just like flying around, had a great time. I was like, holy shit, I feel like shrooms just gave me a superpower. And that is how my addiction to shrooms started. I thought they were sick as fuck. Which they kind of are sick as fuck, but they're also kind of terrifying. Yeah, that was the shroom story. I don't know, like I could have maybe elaborated a little better. Try not to speak so fast. I feel like I'm speaking fast right now. Maybe I'm just tweaking. I feel like I'm speaking fast. I need to sit down, calm. I don't know, that was my shroom story. I don't really have any interesting DMT stories. I mean BMT. BMT is kind of a lame-ish at times. I've tried the crack pipe version. I kind of schizoed out on that one, but it wasn't like a good schizo. It was just like a, holy shit, I feel like a crackhead, and had hella anxiety. I've taken an edible one time, and I was like, it hit me while I was in the living room, or in the kitchen with my mom, and I started tweaking, and then I ended up like, just going like nonverbal. My mom's like, are you okay? And I was just like staring at her. And I had to lie a lot for that one. So I'm sorry, Mom, but I basically like somehow like convinced her that I had like a diabetic episode or something. I don't know. Because I was taking different supplements at the time, so I was able to convince her that that's what happened. But really, I just took a Delta 8 gummy, and it destroyed my brain. Like, Delta 8 gummies are terrible for you. Oh, I got a story. I got a fucking story for you guys. Okay, so here's the story. Red River Gorge. Me and my buddy, who will remain nameless, we're there with his parents, and we're hiking in Red River Gorge. And me and him, those Delta 8 gummies I was talking about, well, I had a whole bottle of them. Those things were like, they made you so high, but it wasn't good. It was just like your brain hurts and it feels like it's gonna melt and fall out of your ears. And it feels like a psychedelic because you're so high, but it's just painful high. It's like literally like, kill me now, I'm so high from weed. And it was terrible. So anyway, I brought them to Red River Gorge. And we took a little bit. We took like a quarter of one each because I took a full one when I first got them thinking I was smart and I basically died. So then I had to go down to taking quarters. So me and him took like a quarter. But the quarter still fucks you up. Or maybe we took halves. I don't even know how much was in them. They were just so strong. It's still some of the strongest highs I've ever gotten. Anyway, we're geeked on them bitches. Well, like I'm in the car, we're on the way to some fucking trail, and I just remember my head spinning. I felt like I was on a roller coaster. It was terrible. It was terrible. And then we get there, and then me and him kind of like pave our way forward first. And his parents are behind us. They're a decent ways behind us, and we trek forward, and we just are going faster and faster. And we're geeked. You know, when you hit that rhythm, when you're geeked, and you're just like, I can't let up. And you're just, that was us. So we just did not stop trekking at all. And we're trekking through the woods. We build up some good distance, like a decent bit of distance. We don't see them. And eventually we get to the ridgeline, right? So we're both kind of on the ridgeline. His parents are on the ridgeline, and we're on the ridgeline, but we're far. We're like maybe quarter mile away. And when it comes to hiking, like maybe a half mile, like we were far. We're like far enough where we saw them on eventually we saw them on another ridge. But anyway, we're hiking, and then somehow we're on this ridge, and then there's like multiple paths, and then we're like, well, which way do we go? Well, I don't know. And then we just take a path, and then it leads to a dead end, and then we come back, and we're like, well, where did we come from? I don't know. Let's try this way. We go this way, and then we come back, and then we're back at this path. And the path has like, I shit you not, it's like 6 paths. Now it's kind of on a ridge, but the ridge is pretty thick. Like it's pretty fucking wide. And when I say it's like wide, it's wide. It's Red River Gorge. It's wide. There's a bunch of trails that lead in a bunch of different directions. There's a bunch of trees. It's confusing as fuck. We got lost. Like we're up there off the shroom or off the fucking eddies, and we're like, holy shit, which path did we even come from? And we're like, I don't know. And so then we're like frantically pacing, going back and up in different routes, and we don't see them, and we're like, hello, hello, hello. And we're like yelling out, we don't see them. It's kind of frantic. We get frantic. Then so what do we do? What do we do? And then we keep just doing it. We're just pacing back and forth. And then we'll try to walk one way for a while and see if we find them. And then we don't find them. We're like, fuck, we gotta go back. And we walk back and then do this the other way. And then we don't see them. Oh, fuck, we gotta go back. And like shit, it probably was like 25 minutes. Maybe it was 20 minutes. Maybe it was 20, 25 minutes. But we were geeked and we were scared. And then eventually we kind of go to one of the ledges. And we're just like, damn, we're gonna give up. I don't know if we were thinking about jumping off. We're not gonna jump off, but we were near a ledge where we could have jumped off. And what do you know? We see his parents on the same ridge, but like, if this is where we are, right? And this is the ridge, they're like all the way over here, right? And this is like quarter mile. And this is all just dense foliage and trails. And maybe it's a half mile. I don't even know. It was far. Probably quarter mile. It was far though. And then we eventually see them waving, oh! So then we meet up, and then, all is well. But we were fucking shitting our pants, scared. It was, me and him were acting like little girls, high as fuck, confused, walking in circles. I thought I was gonna have to eat him, like, I was just like, I'm counting my meal plan, like, if there's no food around here, like, I'm eating you. Pause. I just said allegation in this podcast. Guys, I'm coming out. I'm actually... Anyway. I don't really know what else to talk about. What other stories? Oh, I got a story. So I was a bad little kid my sophomore year, guys. I told you that. That was the summer when I had like the shrooms or whatever. When I did the edible, the story I was just telling you, this was actually my junior summer. So this was a year after that. But in between those two times, there's another story I got for you. And this is in like October. Yeah, it's October. October 31st. No. October 29th of, I don't know, a year. Whenever I was a sophomore. Something like that. And basically, I got grounded. My parents found out I lied to them about a bunch of shit. And they're like, oh, we are disappointed in you. And I was sad. But they were like, you know what? I was like, can I please go out one more time? I don't know why they said yeah, I could go out again. But they said yeah. And so they're like, you can pick. Do you want to go on Halloween or do you want to go on Halloween weekend? And you can go out one day and then you're going to be grounded for 2 weeks. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go to the fucking Halloween party. So I go to the Halloween party. It's like a Saturday. I've been taking a tea break. I don't remember why I was taking a tea break. I was a bad kid, so I don't know if I didn't have access to weed or if I was actually taking a tea break, but I broke the tea break at the Halloween party. This is actually at the same house of the friend who I went on the hiking trip with. This is at his house. And I broke the tea break there on the cake bar. The cake bar. Them bitches get you geeked. I miss the cake bar. But that shit was clogged for a fat minute. I think that's why I took a tea break and I didn't know how to hit it and I didn't buy any new yards. But my buddy was like, yo, if you just use a lighter, you can heat up the coils and then we can smack it. So we went in my car like some crackheads outside the party. The party was kind of mid. I don't know. It was just a bunch of like, I don't even know. It was just a mid party. We go out to my car. We fucking light that fucking yard up and smack the coil. Definitely got hella microplastics and heavy metals in our lungs. And I lost track of how many times I smacked it. And like I said, I took a tea break. And the cake bars would obliterate me. Like, they'd get me fucked. And this was a sativa one. And I smacked it, I shit you not, like 20 times. And we basically hotboxed my fucking 2001 Chevy Blazer with a fucking cake bar. So geeked. Don't know why I did that. Then my buddies, like, eventually I got so paranoid. I was like, bro, the people in the party are looking at us. The parents are looking at us. I gotta go, bro. I gotta go. And my parents, they had given me a curfew. They said, okay, for your last night, you gotta be back by 12:30, I think. And it's like 10 o'clock. And I'm like, I gotta go. I'm going home. I was so paranoid. I had like 2.5 hours before I had to go home. And I drove home off 20 rips and paranoid of cake bar. I mean, when I say I was high, I was so high, my steering wheel, it felt like the taste of salt. It was like tingling. It was like I was connecting with it in a different way. I was seeing my POV from the most POV point of view you could ever think. And I was seeing everything, but I was fried as fuck. And my ping was 999. I felt like I was lagging, bro. I pulled out onto their road and then took a left. And then I like drove past 2 houses and I was like, nope, I'm gonna wreck. And I pulled into somebody's driveway and I parked it there. I was like, I am going to die. I'm going to destroy my car. And so I pulled into some random person's driveway. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm just gonna stay here, bro. I have 2.5 hours until my curfew. I'm gonna stay here. You know, it's not that big of a deal to sit in somebody's driveway. What's the worst that happens? I can just leave if they get mad. The worst that really could have happened is they called the cops and the cops pull up and I'm fried as fuck and I get in trouble. But at least, hey, I pulled over and I wasn't driving when they caught me. But I told myself, you know, what's the worst that can happen? I can sit here for an hour. I can sit here for 2 hours maybe. You know, maybe they won't notice that I have my lights off. Which is, you know, realistically decent logic. If you pull into somebody's driveway and they don't know you're there and you pull your lights off, how are they gonna know? But I told myself this. I was like, I'm gonna stay there for like 2 hours. You know, an hour, 2 hours. I have so much time until my curfew's over. I can, you know, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. And somehow that person was on the road within like 3 minutes once again. I don't know what got into me, but I was like, nah, I'm leaving. So I fucking started driving my car. I looked at my phone. I shit you not, I remember it looks like Egyptian hieroglyphics. I was like, I don't know what any of this shit means. Keep in mind, I'm like 6 minutes from my house. This is a road I've drove so many times in my life, so many times. But I'm looking at my phone and I'm like, see the button on the screen when you go onto maps and it says home. And I'm like, home? What is home? What is a home? What does home mean? What do these signs mean? I was so fucking confused, so fucking fried. So like 12 missed turns later, I somehow get home and I'm there. I get home and my family, I think they're kind of asleep by then. And so I get some ice cream. I remember I got some ice cream and then I brought it up to my bathroom. I had it in a bowl and I brought it to my bathroom. So I was eating it while I was like on the shitter. I was eating ice cream on the shitter. Like, I don't know, like a fucking diabolical Indian? I don't know, is that racist to say an Indian would do that? I don't know, it's just disgusting. Disgusting. But I'm eating ice cream while I'm shitting. And I remember being so fascinated with ice cream. I was so fascinated. I was like, what if a world, like a whole planet, was just like ice cream? But instead of like it being small bits of ice cream, like how the texture of ice cream is small, what if the texture was large? I just still think that's kind of interesting. Like, what if there's a planet that was just like, you saw giant hills of like the edges of ice cream? Ice cream does look kind of interesting. But I was so geeked, and eventually I went to bed, you know, like most nights that I did when I was geeked. Like most nights I went to bed. Oh, fuck. This is a terrible podcast. Terrible is a mentality. Shh. Leave it there. We got like 40 minutes. Do you guys like my shirt? Yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Hope you have a good one, and do not follow my example in this video. And like I said, for the 8th time, this is AI. Skadoosh.